Hey guys, welcome back. Today is another beautiful, warm spring day here in the Pacific Northwest. I am loving this weather. Can we please hang on to this type of weather for the rest of the season because it is just absolutely magical. I wanted to walk around today and show you guys what the garden is looking like in the front and in the back. We have some things that are starting to leaf out, especially our Japanese maples, and that is like my favorite time of the year is when things are just starting to come in. Everything is still a little bit budded up, but you know, like when the maples start leafing out, it just has like a really soft look to it. I love that look on our maples. So I want to show you guys what they're doing right now. And then we planted hundreds of bulbs in the front yard, and I want to show you what they're looking like. They're not all in bloom yet, but it's just so beautiful to see everything kind of budded up. Some things are blooming, and I'm like, can we get more bulbs? I'm really excited about bulbs all over again. So anyways, let me go ahead and turn my camera on, and then we will just stroll through the garden, see what things are looking like. I know we're at the end of March, but this is really where things start to take off for us in our garden. So I'm just very excited to show you what is going on right now. In the front, there's not much going on. I am going to come in later this week and get rid of some of our winter decoration and start bringing more life and color and beautiful things to our entryway. The only thing that's really going on in this little nook here is this rose, which is just full of aphids. And I really do have a difficult time with these containers in here. I used to have hydrangea standards. Those were not doing so good. They kept getting spider mites at the end of the season. So I dug them up, cleaned them up. I gave them to my friend, and they're doing fantastic. I think it's this specific area. Maybe there's just not enough airflow. So, and then I tried the roses, and the roses did okay last year, but we do just have a ton of aphids. And this is so embarrassing to have this many, but you know what? This is what happens. So I am going to come in here with some Rose RX and just spray everything down, and hopefully that will eradicate the situation. But that's also part of gardening, right? I'm not only going to show you the pretty things that is going on in my garden, I'm going to show you all of the uglies too, because I think that's important to recognize that no garden is perfect all of the time. I mean, we try to, but it's just not. So it's a little bit of like a reality check, right? That nothing is always going to be perfect all of the time. So starting out in this bed here, things are starting to take shape, which I really like. One thing that is going on is you can see our compost mulch has really settled, and this happens every year. So what we'll do, we'll come in, bring in a couple of inches of mulch. We typically use compost as our mulch. We've done that for a few years just to really build up the health of our soil. But now I feel like the soil is good, it's enriched, it feels nice to dig into. So I'm going to come in with regular mulch and just get everything kind of tidied up. Now, if we come in a little bit closer and just have a look at our Shishigashira lion's head maple, it is just so stunning. Number one, I love the structure of this tree. This was one of the first trees that we planted when we bought the house. In fact, I think these three trees here kind of went in at the same time, and they are doing amazing. This tree especially, I am obsessed with this tree. I would love to take this actually when we move, just because I love the shape of it. We've worked so hard to get it to where it is now, and Eduardo came in and just pruned everything really nicely this last few weeks, and it is just leafing out so beautifully. I love the structure of this maple, and we do keep it kind of tight because it is close to the house. So it's important for us to just kind of maintain the size and not let it get too wild. But oh my gosh, is she a stunner. And also just a quick note, this does get full sun and it's doing really well. We planted it when it was pretty small a few years ago. And it's just, I mean, it's a trooper. It does wonderful in this space right here. Our blue atlas is leaning, so Sergey and I have to come in and just pull it back a bit. And it's doing that because it's very heavy in the front. If I swing around here, you can start to see, do you see how the back is pretty open, but the front is really, really heavy? We expected this to happen, so we just need to come in one day and just stake it back and just pull it back. It's going to be fine. We did move it last year. We had to lift it a little bit because it was just too low. So now we just need to bring it back just a tiny bit. If I step back, look at the daffodils. Aren't these just a ray of sunshine? I mean, I am so obsessed with these daffodils. I definitely want to come in with a ton more this fall and just plant up even more. And you kind of forget how important bulbs are until you hit springtime, and then you realize, oh yes, now I know why we plant so many. And just look at these cuties. And I didn't think I was going to love these bright yellows, but you know what? They're just such a pop of color that I am really, really enjoying all of them. The peonies that we divided and transplanted seem to be doing okay. They're coming up nicely, which makes me happy. I still need to come in and dig up a few dahlias in the front here. So hopefully we can get that done before our mulch arrives. So everything is going to be nice and neat. And of course, we're still deciding on what we're going to put in this empty space right over here. Sometimes I forget how our gardens evolve over time, and every spring I get this feeling. I always think like in the winter time, okay, we're not doing enough. We need to do more. We need to plant more. We need to move this. We need to do that. But and then spring comes around and you start to see things just leafing out and starting to bloom. And then it reminds me of how far we've come in this garden. And it reminds me too that it's just a journey. It's not about the destination, right? It's just about that journey, which is probably my favorite part about gardening. The tree island is also looking really nice. I definitely think we can do with more bulbs and more color next season, which I'm just taking a mental note of some of the things that I need to remove. Like some of these hyacinth, they're pretty old, and you can see they're not as robust as they were when we first planted them. So I might go ahead and just either plant more or get rid of these. The other thing that I love in this area is these gold leprechaun columbine. They have such an interesting leaf color, and they have the most beautiful, beautiful purple flowers. So these also spread, like they self-seed everywhere. So in the springtime, I usually come in, I don't know if you guys can see it, but do you see these tiny little seeds everywhere? That's them coming up. So I will come in and just clean everybody up and make sure it doesn't get too wild and out of control. But these are really good little self-seeders. One of the things that's kind of struggling in this island is our Daphne. I don't know what's going on. By this time, it's usually full of blooms and everything is blooming, but I feel like it has some disease and it lost all of its leaves, which it never does. So I think, I'm not sure. I need to do a little bit of research on what's going on, but nothing is opening up. There is still a little bit of a scent, but for the most part, it's not really doing much. I don't know if it just heard me that I was going to move it, so it was like, bye. But it's just not looking very good. And this specific variety should be an evergreen. So the fact that it's lost all of its leaves just tells me that it's probably done. All right, I'm taking a step back to show you how fun all of these daffodils are that we planted in the planting strip over here. I don't know why nobody told me how fun this was going to be, but this is definitely something I would love to repeat. I would even love to do that in our main grass. I don't know how Sergey would feel about that, but maybe we just surprise him and don't tell him. But anyways, I just think it's so fun. And the grass is getting taller. But you know what? This time of year, I don't even mind the grass getting a little bit taller in this area because we're not doing like a ton of cutting. I know we are going to be coming in. It is the season to start fertilizing and really thatching it and all of the good stuff that we do to our lawn every year. But I just love the way this turned out. It's so whimsical. Like I love coming home and seeing these bright little faces just smiling at us. It's just the loveliest thing ever. And here they are from this angle. So you can just see they're everywhere. I love it so much, you guys. I don't want it to end. It's so sweet. So we started out with a couple of hundred in the planting strip, and I know not all of them came up because even the day after I came in and planted a little bit more that I had left over. So I'm thinking because it was so wet, maybe some of the bulbs rotted out, or maybe I planted them too deep, I'm not sure. Definitely would love to add more. However, we do plan on removing this grass this year and just planting this area with beautiful shrubs and perennials and some annuals, just to again bring more flower power into the front area of our garden. So I'm not sure yet what we're going to be doing, but that has been kind of the goal and the mission. And that's why I went ahead and just planted it up with a bunch of bulbs, because I knew we were probably going to be removing it this year. But anyways, if you are looking to plant a lawn full of bulbs, highly recommend. Zero regrets. I wish I would have done more, and I wish I would have done this a lot sooner. Here is another beautiful sight. Is all of these daffodils under our Japanese maple. Tell me that's just not the prettiest view in the garden right now. I absolutely am obsessed with this. I did not realize how many bulbs we planted and how this would turn out. And we know that daffodils are really good about naturalizing. So I'm hoping next year it's going to be even more. But just look at how beautiful and buttery these are. And they're just like that double, so soft, so sweet, so much interest in this flower. And they're big too. If you can see, I don't know if you guys can tell, but even just their flower heads are so large compared to some of the other daffodils that we planted. It's just so lovely, you guys. I can't get enough of these. I would love to just plop these everywhere in our garden. Such a good decision. If I was a fairy, this is where I'd want to live. Right in here. This would be my jam. Now this maple is still pretty budded up, but when it starts to leaf out, it just again has that really soft look to it. But this is one of the other reasons why I love a Japanese maple. Just look at that beautiful spring interest. Even if it's not leafed out, just with all of the swollen buds, I think it looks stunning. We have more of our peonies that we transplanted, and they're coming up really nicely. I'm very happy with those. So hopefully they will bloom for us and it won't be too much of an issue for them that we transplanted them kind of late. I would like to come in here and remove some of these random things popping up. We have some tulips that are probably, oh gosh, I don't even know how old those are, but they don't really bloom. Yeah, it's just been many years. So I want to come in, go ahead and remove those, and then maybe come in with a big drift of more bulbs this fall time. This maple also is not quite there yet in terms of leafing out, but it does have a lot of beautiful new growth and just a ton of little buds everywhere. And it's going to look magnificent once it leaves out. And now taking a step back and seeing the garden this way, I definitely see an opportunity to come in here with a lot more bulbs this next fall, just again to carry over that big grouping of bulbs that we have under the maple. I just think it would look so pretty to maybe even do like a river of them coming through here. I think that would be very, very beautiful. In the backyard, there's not much progress to report on in the side garden. We are still just getting things cleaned up and not too much to report on right now. But there's a lot of plans happening behind the scenes. But here we come in to the backyard, and we just came in and cleaned some of the roses up and just did some random little things in the garden the other day. So that is actually making a big impact the way everything is starting to shape up. It just looks a little bit more tidied up. I still need to come in and address that rose over there. And well, I'll talk to you guys about it in a sec, what's going on over there. But anyways, over here, everything is looking good. I'm very pleased with all of our trees, how everything is looking. We're probably gonna come in and prune some of the figs and maybe just a light little prune on the persimmon. We definitely need to come in and spray everything. Of course, we have our containers, our bulb lasagnas that we planted together, and just look at how fun these are. So this mix had the yellow hyacinth, the purple muscari, and then some daffodils. Look at that, you guys. It's such a little ray of sunshine when you walk into the cut flower garden, and at every little corner, there's something going on. There's one over here as well. And I think this one might be the same recipe that we use. I think so, maybe just different daffodils. So this one's taking just a little bit longer to come up, to catch up to the other one. Back here, I just love the grouping of trees that we have with the spruce and the Hollywood juniper, the emperor maple, which just has that lower branching and is just so stunning every year. Probably one of my favorite maples that we have back here. Our magnolia just looks beautiful and full and shiny. She's just really putting on quite a bit of size too in the last couple of years since we planted her. I think this is probably year 4 or 5. I can't remember. I think 4. Can't recall. And then over here, we have our Gold Rider Leland cypress that we planted 3 of these last year, and they're starting to put on quite a bit of size and really starting to fill in as well, which I just can't wait for this little corner to take shape and just start creating a little bit more of a screen back here. We cleaned up this area here that has some of the plants that we're going to be using for projects this year. Some of these are going to be going to my friend's house, and the other ones are going to be planted out. My goal this year is not to buy all of these plants all at once and just have them hang out here. I'm trying to be really intentional of buying plants that I'm going to be using within a week or 2. That way we don't have a bunch of plants just hanging out, taking up garden space that we should be planting up with some beautiful things. The only caveat to that is if I have a specific project that I'm going to be working on and I need to get plants ahead of time because they might not be available later on, then I might get some. But you guys keep me in check. Make sure I don't go wild like I normally do this time of year. Now this arbor is leaning. That's why I just quickly placed these cinder blocks here just as a temporary solution. So again, I need to come in, probably lift this up. This is a 2-piece, so there's a top piece that connects. Oh, where does it connect? I don't know, it connects somewhere, but it is a 2-piece. So we need to lift it up, most likely, I'm not sure yet. Maybe drill pilot holes and even do cement to just anchor those in a little bit better, just because it was so windy and we were just totally surprised that this sling started to lean backwards into the cut flower garden. So we definitely need to address that before the rose gets too big, and I do again need to come in here and start cleaning that up more. I just did like a little rough chop, but in the next day or 2 I'm going to come in and really just take it way back. This area I would love to start developing too, and we'll talk about that at some other point, but I would love to come in here and start thinking about things to do on either side of the entrance into the cut flower garden. If we come back here close to the deck area or on the deck, these little violas that we planted are just the sweetest little thing and make such a big difference in the look of the deck. I mean, just flowers just bring so much brightness and happiness to this area. Back here, we still have some things that need to get planted, and I definitely want to add a ton more bulbs throughout the backyard this fall. So that is going to be a big project that we do, but I'm really looking forward to that because we do have some bulbs popping up here and there from a while back, but you can tell it could use a lot more bulb interest in this space. This Shishigashira maple is going to be stunning this year. I just feel like it's been moved a couple of times and we've lifted it up a couple of times, and now it's really just been in the ground. It's finding its footing, and I think it's going to look magnificent this year. I also want to come in and just plant a bunch of beautiful bedding annuals around our roses that we have over here, so I'm looking forward to that. Not a ton going on with our figs right now. And then we have the containers that we planted up together. Look at this. Come on. Isn't that just instant happiness? I did come in and thinned out the ranunculus a little bit because they are very full with a lot of leaves. And I think that made quite a big difference. But just look at how fun this looks. This is a persimmon over here. Again, we are going to be moving this container to this space here. We should probably try to move this maple sooner than later. It just gets way too much sun and it's just not happy over here. Poor little thing just really crispy by the end of the season. So we want to move her, place this container right over here. We might need to move the rose maybe a little bit more forward, but I just love the look of this. And over here too, we have the container that we planted around our peach tree. So this is the peach tree that we came in and planted a little bit ago, and it's doing really nicely. And this container is just full of happiness. Look at this. Look at the bacopa. I think the bacopas are really going to go for it. There's a ton of little buds everywhere. Look at this. I'm telling you what, bacopa just is a flower powerhouse, and it just spills over so beautifully. And of course, we have some of our other bulb lasagnas. This one is really taking off. The crocus came in first. I see the hyacinth are coming in, and then the tulips are starting to bud up. So these are going to look so pretty in the next couple of weeks. I can't wait to see. Our coral bark maple is also looking really nice. I wish it was leafing out a little bit more for you guys to see how it just glows with these little green leaves with all of these beautiful coral branches. It just always gets us so excited when it starts. I mean, it's starting a little bit at the top, but it still has a little bit to go before it really just puts on a gorgeous show. And then there's not too much going on back here. We have the olive is looking really nice. We have another bulb lasagna that's doing its thing. It's getting a little bit of shade, so I might need to move that one a little bit. Again, I do want to come in and do this again, just not with these containers, because these don't really match all of our other containers and the aesthetic of our containers. So I do want to switch those out and then donate those to some friends. And right under here, underneath our magnolia, let me come around here, is a ton of muscari. And these also look so sweet. These are white ones. When they're in full bloom, it's such a cute little meadowy area that I love underneath this tree. Real quick, I know the deck is kind of a hot mess right now just because I've been doing so many projects out here, but I just wanted to show you guys all of the bees. This is the tray that I did not clean out. So there are a couple of others that I got all cleaned out. This was the last one, and they all just started to hatch, these mason bees. And so I kind of panicked and just let them go for it. And you guys, it's mayhem over here. They are everywhere. They keep landing in my hair. They land on my clothes, and they're the sweetest little thing. I'm not scared of them at all. But it's just, they're everywhere right now. We typically like to stagger them throughout the springtime. So we'll let out a first batch and then a second batch, and we'll do a combination of male and female cocoons. But this year we got, well, I guess last year we just got so busy we forgot about it. We just tucked away the cocoons or the tubes in the shed, completely forgot about it until I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, they're starting to hatch. So we do have some in the fridge that we're going to be releasing out a little bit later. Again, that way we just have a ton of pollinator action throughout the entire springtime. But you know what? Mother Nature will just figure it out. I know it's kind of a mess and we should have gotten after it a lot quicker, but they're figuring it out. So we're just gonna let it go. All right, guys, that will do it for our little March garden tour. I just wanted to come in and show you guys all of the beautiful things that we have going on in our garden right now in late March and show you areas of opportunity. We definitely wanna come in with more bulbs this fall. And I always complain about planting bulbs. So remind me in the fall time, Claudia, do you remember when you said you want more flowers in the springtime? And that's exactly what I wanna do, especially in the backyard. I just think there's so many opportunities to bring in drifts of bulbs and little clusters of them everywhere. Again, just to bring more color into our garden early springtime. And now I have something to look forward to in terms of shopping, because I'm going to sit down and really think about what type of flowers and bulbs we're going to be planting at this fall time in our garden. It's always good to get a head start, especially start placing your orders as soon as they're available, depending where you order them from. That way in the fall time, they arrive on time and you're not spending or at least me, I'm not running around like a chicken trying to get all of the bulbs ordered late, and I'm not getting all of the varieties I wanted. So I'm gonna be proactive about it this year. And again, I'm just going to reference this video so I know how excited I am about having more spring color in our garden. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today on this beautiful, beautiful day in my garden. And I will see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye.